Hello, my name is Małgorzata Marczewska. I'm a doctor in Warsaw, Poland, and I just wanted to share some thoughts with you. Poland is in Europe. It is not Holland, where there are tulips and windmills and canals and Van Gogh. Poland is more east. So I'm a doctor here for around 10 years. And recently I was speaking to another doctor who is on call in the same place I am. Periodically I'm on call in this hospital, a small hospital in Warsaw, and she was telling me that her other career choice besides becoming a doctor was stand-up comedy. So I thought that was a really cool idea, because sometimes I also wondered whether I shouldn't go to clown school instead of med school, but too late now. So a little bit about being a doctor in Poland during the pandemic. I am wearing the protective equipment that is given to me by my hospital, so indirectly by the Polish government. Glasses are mine. This stethoscope is mine. Scrubs are also mine. Gloves. Yes, I have these gloves from the hospital. And this mask. It is not a surgical face mask because probably we ran out. So now this is like a material mask that then can be sterilized and worn again. Unfortunately, it is hotter than a normal surgical mask. So my stand-up routine will be about Poland. Really, it is a very special place. There are so many unusual phenomena here, and perhaps they will put a smile on your face, or you will cry, or you will do both, to each his own. Poland. Mid-March, at the time when a lot of people in Italy were dying, our government said, "Oh, there's something going on in the world. Whoops!" And so March 13th, there was this televised, speech by politicians saying that, okay, schools are closed for children, for students, universities are closed, and from the next day, meaning Saturday, all shopping malls, in Polish called galeria, will be closed. And then in 2 days' time, the borders will be closed. So people can't really go in or out. However, the government will organize flights through embassies for Poles being abroad who want to come back. So it sort of startled other people. For me, it was obvious because such steps should have been taken earlier. But okay, so as a doctor, I was like, okay, that's nice. Maybe this will help a little bit. Of course, it was all done very chaotically, and then the people who are coming back into Poland were supposed to go to quarantine, but really, were they in quarantine? Was anyone checking them? Chaos, basically chaos. Yes, and us on the front lines have received the equipment you have seen. Basically nothing. But yes, we are a great nation, because in 1410 we won a battle with the Teutonic Knights. They were Prussian. We beat them. So we are great, and just keep that in mind. Among many battles that we have fought in the past. And then there were many things that we lost, but we are still great. Okay, so now, over a month has passed, and people are getting tired of being in lockdown, and they were allowed to go outside, for example, to go grocery shopping or to go to pharmacies and such things. And Initially, it was, going quite well. Like, there were limits how many people could go into a store, and the security guard would count, okay, next person comes in. There were gloves there. People had to wear gloves first, and then with time also masks. You could only go outside if you were walking your dog. Luckily, I have dogs. And young children couldn't go outside without being accompanied by adults. Of course, people weren't following this because Poles are very they don't follow rules very well. So you being a politician, you should know that. But obviously, our politicians also don't follow rules, so they are not logical. So when I was walking my dog, I would find, groups of young people, like 15, 16, drinking beer. What would I do? I would take their photo and I would call the, like, Straż Miejska, sort of like police. And then the young boys would run away to drink their beer elsewhere. But yeah, that is the fault of their parents, because who let them out of the house? But yes, oh no, 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 they are all braving it out, staying indoors. Oh, my kids, they're like little terrorists. Why? Last week, I think, or so, we have started to lessen the laws of lockdown, because the people are getting restless, and that is not a good sign. And so people have been allowed to go outside, because initially forests were closed. Who knows why forests were closed? Except if you were hunting, then you could go into the forest. Why? Who knows? But you can't fish. You can hunt, but you can't fish. It makes no sense. Okay, so yes, so now we have to wear masks, and we can go outside, and children from the age of 13 can go outside unaccompanied. After the weekend, shopping centers will be reopened. What is one of the more startling things is that also kindergartens will be reopened, and nursery centers. That's very brave, because how are you going to keep hygiene and other standards there? Really, the steps taken by the Polish government make no sense. They are not based on anything, like not on any scientific data. What seems to be the driving point for most of the decisions is that there were elections planned on May 10th. These were the Polish presidential elections. And the ruling party refuses to stop them. Now, all of a sudden, they are saying they are defending democracy. And for the past few weeks, all of their policies have been geared to show that we are safe, that we have controlled the pandemic. How have we controlled the pandemic? By not testing for SARS-CoV-2 virus, and hence the numbers are stabilizing. Of course, people die being home in quarantine, and they die mysteriously, and then we don't check if they had the virus, so they are not counted in the statistics. So if you are following any statistics from Poland, basically you might as well just throw them down the toilet, just flush them down, because that is how much they are worth. I say this as a doctor, but politicians are like, yes, this is the truth. Sure. And so there has not been a political campaign by the presidential candidates, because we are in a pandemic. So the only person that has been on TV is the current president, who is from the current ruling party. And surprise, surprise, in the polls by the government, he is leading. So really, yes, so that is what's going on in Poland. We are going to have elections on May 10th, and in order to keep the elderly safe, because that is very important, our government has thought up of doing elections by mail, and they gave more money to postal workers to give voting ballots, deliver them to elderly people's homes, and then take them back. so that the elderly can participate. So actually money went like 37, but I don't know, some amount of like huge amount of money went into organizing these ridiculous elections without an campaign before them, instead of, for example, to people on the front lines, so we could have like personal protective equipment. But you know, that doesn't really matter, because what matters is winning elections. And the fact that there will be many people dead, how do we know this? Well, during the pandemic, there have been elections. There have been elections in Bavaria. There have been elections in France. And what happened after? A lot of people died. But in Poland, that won't happen, because we have everything under control, and because in 1410 we won with the Teutonic Knights. So yes, and so here I am, being a doctor, being a little bit frustrated, and by a little I mean a lot, because as my friends in America feel, we are ruled by idiots. And if only their idiotic decisions affected themselves only, but no, they affect a lot of other people. And yes, so I suspect that not all of these idiots that I speak of will understand this video, because they barely speak Polish. However, there is a chance that next time I try to communicate, I will be in some sort of a prison. Luckily, I know Morse code. So if you ever hear the SOS sign, that is me. So just follow it and you will find me. And yeah, so this is my stand-up routine. I'm wishing you lots of health and happiness, and I hope you do not go crazy thinking about idiots, because what should we do? We should remember that they are idiots, and we should try to overthrow them. I repeat, when you identify an idiot in a position of power, it is your obligation to tell others of this fact, and in time overthrow them. Got it? Okay, so yes, I'm happy to share some Polish history with you. Perhaps there will be another episode if I'm not in prison. Bye!